Hey, today I have a message called Carrying All Now. Starting with today, you get to see how good it feels to let go of trying to run things. So, the usual, whenever there's any tension, whenever there's any stress, it's believing ego thoughts about running things, being in charge, being in control, or seeing or blaming or finding somebody inadequate for as a separate one, either being too much in control or having the wrong sort of control or not having enough control. We have this perception of separate person control that we keep interpreting, judging, analyzing, both in our own experience, maybe where we would seek to have control over others or control over our circumstances. So when it applies seemingly to us, or when it seems we're just looking at others and judging that whole control thing. And the stress and tension means I have not listened to the thoughts from spirit that are available for me, that would simply guide me. And yeah, you're always under control. You're always under control of one thing or the other. I'm always under the control of my false self or the self I share with you. So no matter what, there's no way of escaping being controlled. It's just in this experience, what do I choose to have this experience controlled by? Do I choose to have it controlled by what I really am, or do I choose to have it controlled by fear, hatred, which pretends to be love? And I'm seeing that more and more, not in the context of judging or analyzing others, but just in my own experience. I'm seeing the difference between performative love and actual love. So that's always a very good and helpful learning curve. And the false self can't learn about that, but as I truly am, I can remember, because actual love is what I am. It is what everybody is. So it's more like seeing. I start to see you as you truly are. I start to see me as I truly am, but only under the guidance, and that's the same thing as the control of what I truly am with you. And I know by how I feel. It's funny that, all we have to do is trust our joy, and you wouldn't think that would be so hard. But if we recognize that we kind of set up time and space to be a playground for fear and hatred, then it makes sense why it would feel awkward or weird to allow joy, not fleeting joy, not joy because of a specific thing, to allow that to be in charge. Okay. A defense is your false self. A defense is your false self. Oh yeah, okay. And the ones you craft for others. So when I feel that sense of defensiveness, any tension, any stress, any contraction, any density, that is the false self. That is the illusion. And not just mine, but all the ones I've made for others. So if I look out there, seemingly in the world, and I'm thinking of somebody and I feel any sort of weight or disturbance, I'm actually in defensive mode. I'm preserving my false self, and I'm looking at another self, and I'm seeing a difference between myself and that self. And I'm keeping myself in this matrix, is the first word that pops into mind, where there is this false self versus other selves. Even if those selves are family, friends, if the connection is an alliance rather than a joining of like recognizing we're the same, then it's still based on fear and hatred. But hatred pretends to be love. It pretends to be a special love. I love you, but I don't love the other guy. I have an alliance with you, but I'm against the other guy. Any guy. Doesn't matter which guy it is. And to see how far-reaching that is, And to see that allowing this is, what do I want to say about it? Allowing it is the entire reason for any unhappiness I experience. Well, that's a good thing, because you finally see the cause of any problem you have. It's maintaining the illusion, the perception, the experience, the seeming consequences of having these false selves be either in special alliance, such as I am your friend or I am in love with you, or in open conflict. It's the same thing. And that doesn't mean that our special alliances have to be denied or thrown away. No, every relationship we have is useful to what we are. So every relationship we've established, even while under the control of fear and hatred and thinking it's love and being in deep confusion and suffering, every relationship can be used on behalf of our awakening, our seeing each other, our recognizing the true love we've always had for each other underneath the illusion of the fear and the hatred that pretended to be a special love. So all relationships are useful to what we truly are. All relationships are helpful in our remembering and our waking up. So nothing has to be destroyed, but it's an important step to see that the ego establishes relationships to keep us unhappy. And if we take a look at all the various degrees of tension, stress, guilt you can experience in a relationship, I mean, you don't have to look far to find that. No matter what myths we have going on, what ideals we have going on, how we've compared ourselves to others and said, no, I'm successful and happy next to this one. You know when you're pretending, because you feel tension and stress. And if you pay very close attention to how you feel on the subtlest levels, you can feel that when you're lying to yourself, you can feel a lie. It's undeniable. And that's what this whole journey is about, is like feeling the lie, which you can do every single day, and easing out of it and falling into the flow of truth. Truth is what we all are together. Truth is what connects us. And it's right here for us. And of course ego doesn't like this, but if we stop defining happiness as our ego being satisfied, that is not a problem. Okay. What else? Your false self can hate false selves or have hostility toward them, judge them. That's not you, that's your false self. Running on ego thought, which is not your thought. Or form alliances with them, which I've already said, but let's see if there's anything else to be said. Yeah, just shine a light on alliances. If it's a special relationship that seems to give us a special safe harbor that would be denied to anyone else, if it's a special relationship that makes us better than or more fortunate than someone else, if it's a special relationship that allows us to compare ourselves with another and declare ourselves happier or more successful, it's trying to be alive in a graveyard. It's never going to work. No matter how hard we try, no matter how much we idealize it, no matter how long we can sustain an ego high, because you do feel ego happiness, ego love, and it does feel like an up. It's a stimulant, and it's a reinforcement of your separate self. No matter how long or how often you feel able to sustain these ego highs, it doesn't make your false self your true self, and the self you share with everyone. And it doesn't make the alliances that we formed, I should use I language, it doesn't make the alliances that I formed an alliance of one true self with another true self, true true selves, they're already one self. They don't need special alliances or agreements to be enemies with anyone else. The true self is already joined, and it doesn't need to configure itself. It already is. It can just be noticed and put in charge. And yeah, that cuts the ego out of planning and deciding. And the ego is not happy about this. But as we pay close attention to how we feel, we start to notice that the ego's desire for control and the ego's struggling to plan and be in charge are tiring, and they don't make us happy, and we would rather leave them behind. So to exchange that for just very clear and obvious guidance and a deep and reassuring remembrance of peace, and a remembrance that we are truly loved and provided for, and a guidance in the ways in which we can be truly helpful to others, that brings happiness. And that's not happiness that has a crash. It's not a pinnacle. It's just your true nature. And to have that revealed to you, the true nature that you share with everyone, that's just the most natural thing in the world for you because it is you. That's beautiful. As we start to see this and experience it, and we'll experience it and run away from it, and experience it and run away from it. As we start to experience it, of course we're going to prefer it because it's not the high crashing into the low. Even though we're still afraid of it, we still run away from it. As we start to experience just a taste of it more and more, we trust it, and we do allow it to run our perception, to run our experience, to run our interaction. Okay. It is a total waste of time to judge false selves. When I catch myself in judgment of any false self, and if I feel anything not good, it means I have judged someone or something. That's the evidence of it. My feeling is not caused by something being wrong or someone doing something wrong or an inadequacy in myself. My feeling's caused by believing a thought about what I think is happening, what I think is here. And so the only self I can believe an ego judgment about is a false self. So it's not that we shouldn't judge, it's that we cannot. But ego sends us judgments, and then we believe them, and then we feel bad. And we think that bad feeling is caused by that person, it's caused by that event. When really the feeling is caused by the thought we believed. And as I learn to set those thoughts down, the process becomes very quick. It's like hot potato. You feel bad. You see you're holding on to a hot potato, you want to drop it, and you want to reorient toward what is sane and what is stable and what is truly helpful for everyone. Today I'm reorienting toward I choose the second place to gain the first, and I like that because it helps me see how we're all with each other, and how if there's a moving into first place or moving closer to God, to our Creator, we do that together. No one gets left behind. So that's happiness. There's no happiness as someone gets left behind and is suffering. That's not happiness. But we do this all together. The world you see is you, it's part of you, and everything all together comes back into full remembrance. That's beautiful, and that's here for us. That's what's here for us every day. So think of the vast power streaming from your source, and see this benign, harmonic power as capable of carrying all now, which is nice. You don't have to carry anyone. There's benign, harmonic power. It's what you are. It's what everyone is. It's amongst us. It's within everyone and everything. And we can let that do the carrying. Now we have our part to play, But as we tune into this benign harmonic power, our part is very obvious. It's delivered to us in very obvious ways. And the carrying out of our part is natural and easy and not a struggle and not a strain. So our willingness to stop whenever there's a sense of struggle or strain and to reorient toward that which is here for all of us and would supply us with thought to make everything obvious, with the form of anything that we appear to need. That supply comes from what we are together. So we're used to thinking of, well, your supply comes from if you were fortunate to be born into a wealthy family, or if you have a job, or your struggles and efforts in this area. Your supply of anything, of friendship, of money, of success, comes from your efforts. And now the supply is something that can make itself clear to you in your perception, and it comes from what you are. And as we start to look toward the true source of supply, that's very interesting. So everyone and everything is taken care of by what all of us are, what joins all of us. And we can begin to let this idea go of a separate one, straining, struggling, suffering, sacrificing. Every time the stress of that comes up, we have every reason to stop and reorient and just allow everything around us to take the form that's most helpful to everyone. And it's nice, we don't have to invent what the form should be, what should supply me, what should come into my experience in terms of money or resources or opportunities. I don't even know. I'd rather it be laid out perfectly for me in a plan that makes everyone happy. I don't want to plan that myself. That being said, ideas might occur to you with strength that are easy and happy to follow, and so that's why you have those ideas. But if ideas occur to you with strength and they seem more associated with struggle and strain and sacrifice, then it's just time to reorient, because there's a much easier way of flowing with what's here for everyone, what's here to work on behalf of everyone's happiness. So with no one getting left behind, yes, we would want to follow that flow. All right. So carrying all now, we can allow this flow to carry all now. All right, thank you.